Now, Brenda, Harry, Audrey, and Russ. This is My 9 News.
First tonight, Roger Clemens indicted. Good evening, everyone. Harry's off. Clemens faces federal charges of lying to Congress about steroids. The accusation so serious, this baseball superstar, one of the game's greatest pitchers, could end up in prison. Our coverage begins with Russ Salzberg with the latest on these stunning developments. Good evening, Russ.
All right, Brenda. Well, Clemens faces 6 counts, 1 for obstruction of Congress, 3 for false statements, and 2 for perjury. The indictment says Clemens well knew when he gave testimony that he knowingly received injections of steroids.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Clemens is charged with obstruction of Congress, making false statements, and perjury. The accusations stem from his 2008 testimony to lawmakers investigating use of performance-enhancing drugs in the national pastime.
Brian McNamee's statements about me are wrong.
At the 2008 hearing, Clemens denied claims by his ex-trainer Brian McNamee, who told investigators he injected Clemens with steroids and human growth hormone from 1998 to 2001, mostly during the time Clemens pitched for the Yankees. There was also a sworn statement from former teammate and friend Andy Pettit, who said Clemens told him he had used human growth hormone.
I think he misremembers.
After today's Yankee game at the stadium, manager Joe Girardi had little to say about his former teammate.
I don't know the particulars. I don't really have a comment on it, and that's about all I got.
Support him, be there for him. We're still, very good friends, and hopefully everything will be all right.
And the reaction from fans to the Clemens indictment?
He's a great player. I hope everything works out for him.
I think he was lying, because he knows exactly what he done.
I can't imagine that Congress is spending time with this.
On Twitter today, Clemens said, "I never took HGH or steroids, and I did not lie to Congress."
Same thing he's done since the Mitchell report came out in 2007. Adamantly denying that he took HGH or steroids and denying that he lied to Congress.
Yeah, and we also had a president who said, "I never had sex with that woman." While Clemens could get 30 years if convicted of all charges under sentencing guidelines, 15 to 21 months is more likely the case. Later in sports, I'll give you my take on whether today's indictment should keep Clemens out of baseball's Hall of Fame. Brenda?
Now we're taking on the case against Roger Clemens. Joining us, former federal prosecutor Michael Wiles. Michael, it's been 2 years since Roger testified at the congressional hearings. Why are the feds coming after him now?
Lots of pressure here, Brenda. Pressure to heal if you're a player quickly and use steroids, and pressure to reveal the scandals, the propriety of steroids being permissible or not mandated, and now people who are prohibited from doing this, and actually a gentleman, a player, a hero to many of Americans, who's actually being prosecuted for lying to its representatives in Congress.
Reports say he wouldn't settle, that he wanted his day in court. Does that mean prosecutors had a good case or did not?
This means that the grand jury combed through all of the evidence and saw inconsistencies with statements and facts and truth. It means that there are trainers, physicians, all sorts of doctors and information and intelligence that they have that will now countermand some of the statements that he made. The question ultimately is, will he have a fair day in court? And will this gentleman, who appears to have the cockiest of all behavior before U.S. Congress, actually get a fair trial? Or is he going to ever see the light of an appeal if he's convicted?
Now, of course, he is considered innocent until proven guilty, but do you think it's really shaping up to be one of those cases where the cover-up becomes bigger than the crime? Should Roger come clean if he did steroids, and can he end up in jail?
It could be worse. I'm an immigration lawyer also, and I have to tell you, if he was an immigrant, he'd be deported after spending time in jail. Bottom line here is that he and all others in these shoes have been treated lightly when they tell the truth or they make deals or plead the fifth. When he started speaking and he was so aggressive and adversarial and defiant to Congress, it actually was a bipartisan position by both parties to see that a grand jury was convened and ultimately prosecuted.
When you hear Roger's name in 5 years, what's the first word that's going to come to mind?
What a shame. What a loss. But what a shame. A person can be brought down so quickly and yet have attained such major achievements. America has been, since our founding fathers, a land of opportunity for somebody literally to throw a ball and hit its target. You can hit its target and still lose the trust of the very millions of people that put you there. So important that you earn trust and maintain it. whatever your vocation in life.
Yes or no? Is he going to jail?
I think he's going to eventually take a deal. The question is he going to go to jail? In my opinion, if he doesn't take a deal, yes.
Thank you. Michael Wiles, thanks so much for joining us and taking on the case against Roger Clemens. A scare for passengers aboard an American Airlines flight bound for Kennedy Airport. A high